Welcome to Fun Tower Kitchen. Here's your host, Rockin' Ron Sedaille.
Thank you, Groover. That was our very own Ryan Gocool, who is the Groover from Vancouver up in British Columbia, Canada. And he hosts a show on Thursday night. It's called The Groover Show. In fact, he had a show earlier when he first started. He called it Groover's House Party. And he features a lot of great dance music from the 70s, 80s, 90s, and even the early 2000s. So you want to check him out. Thursday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, and he's frequently live on Saturday nights at 11 p.m. Eastern, right after All Request Saturday night. So, what are we going to make today? I got together with Morgan Cunningham earlier this week, and he suggested that we eat dinner at a restaurant in Hebron. The name of the place is called Gina Marie's. Very nice, friendly, family-owned restaurant. And we sat down. He pointed a dish out on the menu, and he said, "You know, Ron," he said, "I think you're going to like this." And it was called Chicken Yvette. What is Chicken Yvette? Well, it is a plate with garlic mashed potatoes, garlic and spinach, a nice egg battered piece of chicken on top of that, some Swiss cheese, bacon, and the best part, it's drizzled with apple cider butter sauce. It was out of this world. And I thought to myself, I'm going to try to make this. So Yvette, if you're out there watching, I'm going to rip off your recipe. I'm not going to rip it off because I don't know how you make it, but I'm going to attempt to make it. I know how to make everything, except I've never made an apple cider butter sauce. I'm going to give that a try. We'll see how it works out. So let's go over our ingredients. So for our chicken, I've got 2 split boneless breasts. We're going to pound those to about 3/8 of an inch thick. Then I'm going to season them with salt, pepper, garlic powder, let them sit on the side for a little bit. And then we're going to come back and we'll dredge them in flour, eggs, flour, and then we're going to fry them. Okay, for pounding the chicken, I like to use a tempered glass cutting board. I put a cloth underneath to keep the vibration and the noise down a little bit because this can get a little noisy. And I've got a piece of saran wrap. We're going to put the chicken membrane side down, okay? Then we've got another piece of wrap, plastic wrap. We're going to put it over. And then we're going to use the flat side of our pounder. You want to start with a thicker end and just kind of work it outward as you're pounding your chicken. Reposition our plastic wrap. The key when you're pounding chicken is you don't want it to be breaking up into a bunch of little pieces. You want to try to keep it as whole as possible. Okay, that's nice right there. It's about 3/8 of an inch, still in one piece. We'll put it over here. We'll grab our other piece, the membrane side down. And start pounding on the thicker end. Just work it outward. All right, that looks nice. Right about like that. So we'll take our chicken, put it over here on our plate. Okay, so we've washed our hands, obviously, and at this point, what you want to do is just put a little bit of salt. So we got some salt, a little bit of pepper, and some garlic powder. Just like that. Okay, over to the stove because we need to get our potatoes going. We're just going to let them come up to a slow boil on the back burner while we get everything else prepared. Now the potatoes are, that was Poppy, by the way. Poppy's on my shoulder watching. The potatoes are Yukon Golds, and they're in water salt mixture. So we'll let those come up to a slow boil. And we'll start our bacon. And we want to make sure when we fry up our bacon that we don't burn it. That is, of course, unless you like burnt bacon. I particularly don't care for it. I like it when it's nice and crispy, but golden, not too hard, like it's going to break your teeth. This is a ½ pound of Oscar Mayer thin sliced bacon. Now for our apple cider butter sauce, first of all, we're going to use stainless steel when we prepare this because apple cider vinegar has a lot of acidity to it, and so does apple cider for that matter. And if you use aluminum cookware, it's really not a good idea to do anything too acidic in the aluminum. So we're going to use our stainless steel pot here. We're going to measure out 2 cups of apple cider. I was surprised that I found it because it's not apple cider season around here, but they had it. So we're going to have 2 cups of that. I'm going to put in about 2 tablespoons or so of apple cider vinegar. About that much right there. We've also got 2 tablespoons of butter and 2 tablespoons of all-purpose flour that we're going to use to make our roux and get this nice and thickened up. We're also going to use some chicken stock in there, about 1 cup of chicken stock. I'll show you how we're going to handle that in just a minute. Okay, so we've got our apple cider and our apple cider vinegar. We're going to bring that to a boil. We're going to reduce the heat to a slow boil, and we're going to let that reduce to about half. We've got about 2 cups in there. We want it to reduce to about 1 cup. Keep an eye on that heat. You don't want it too hot. You see how we're getting a little bit of a brown coating on the bottom of that pan? That's going to be very important because we're going to need that. Potatoes will bring that boil down a little bit. Okay, back over to our chicken. Very simple. Just going to flour it. There's a bit of flour on there just like that. I'm going to dip it in the egg mixture. Make sure you get it fully coated. Back and forth a few times. And back in the flour. I use Hecker's flour. It's a flour that's been around since the 1800s. And I don't know, it just seems to have the right consistency. Very nice flour, Hecker's. And then we're going to let that sit over to the side. Okay, I'm really happy with how this reduced. I think we're set to put it aside. I've got a measuring cup here. Let's just see if we did indeed reduce it by half. And we've got just over 1 cup. All right, so now bacon's done. We're going to get rid of this grease. Not much there. I'll put that off to the side. I'll bring this heat up just a little bit because we're going to deglaze this pan with the chicken stock. And the chicken stock is right here. Bring that heat up a little bit. And then just scrape away, and you'll see those little bits coming right up off the pan. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put that through a strainer, and we'll just let that simmer for a little bit. So at the restaurant, they used Swiss cheese on the meal, but I'm going to use provolone for one reason. Morgan and I took a ride over to Restaurant Depot and I purchased this. So I've got a lot of provolone cheese, and I think the provolone would taste well with this meal as well. So we'll use provolone cheese. That's nice. So I'm going to take this and put a strainer in our apple cider. I'm going to pour that right in there with the apple cider. All right, we're going to get ready to fry our chicken. I've got olive oil, vegetable oil, and some butter in there heating up. And we also need to get going with our spinach. So let's do that right here. And for our spinach, I've got some of my nice garlic here, my nice pre-made garlic. I'm going to use about that much right there. How's that look? I think that's perfect. Okay, the oil's up to temperature. We're going to put our chicken in there. Should be able to fit both pieces in here. And 1. And 2. And make sure we're not sticking to the bottom. Shout out to Wayne's mom, Mama B. She's probably watching this video right now and she's hollering at me because she does not like when I use wooden utensils in frying scenarios. But again, I don't like to scratch up my aluminum pan, so that'll be just fine. Got our garlic going here. We don't make sure we don't burn it. Move that around just like that. Put a little bit more olive oil in there. Oven's up to temperature, about 250 degrees. We'll put our chicken, anything else in there that we need to put in to keep it warm while we bring this dish home, so to speak. So that garlic is starting to turn brown, so we're going to throw our spinach in there. This is fresh spinach. It's not baby spinach. It's regular spinach that you find bundled in the produce department. It doesn't come in the plastic bag. It's fresh. And this is U.S. grown spinach. And put that right in there like that. It smells good already. And put a little bit of salt in there too. Not too much. About that much. And just when it's about cooked down, we're going to take it out of the frying pan. Into a bowl on the side. I like to put it here on the back of the stove. It keeps it warm. All right, I think our chicken can be turned now. Look at that. Oh, that's nice. Beautiful. 2 nice pieces of chicken right there. All right, back to our stainless steel. I'm going to hit the flame. We're going to make a little roux for me and you. Pan's heating up. Our 2 tablespoons of butter and our 2 tablespoons of flour. Our roux. You know that it's ready when it starts to faintly smell like popcorn, and it does. It smells like popcorn right now, so that means it's ready. We're going to pour in our apple cider chicken stock. I'm going to stir that vigorously. Whisk out any lumps. That smells good. Let's see that. Okay, chicken's done. Looks really nice. Smells delicious. So we're going to put that in the oven. Okay, the roux has thickened nicely. I'll move it over to the back here and get some garlic, butter, and olive oil ready for our garlic mashed potatoes. About that much garlic, about that much butter, maybe that much butter. Okay, garlic is just about browned, and it's at that point that we like to put a little bit of our potato water in there, just like that. Turn the flame off. Take that, pour that right in there, just like that. Mash them up. We should not have to add any salt because we put salt in the water. And if you put enough salt in the water, your taste should be perfect. Maybe just a little bit of black pepper. That much. And some milk. That much milk. Alrighty, everything's done. Okay, we're ready to plate. We'll start with some garlic mashed potatoes. Not that much. Some spinach right over the top. Our chicken. This one right here is for the chef. That's nice. Right, look at that. Beautiful. Okay. Our provolone cheese right over the top. It's a hearty meal. Then into the oven we go until that cheese is nicely melted. Okay, I popped the oven up to 400 degrees, by the way, and as soon as that's melted, the cheese over the meal, then we're going to put the bacon on and our apple cider butter sauce. And I want to warm this back up a little bit. Oh, it smells good. Now would be a good time to season. So let's take a little bit of salt. Not too much. About that much. A little bit of pepper. Not too much. About that much. Stir that in. This is the consistency that you're looking for. See that? Okay, let's taste this apple cider butter sauce for seasoning. Ooh, I nailed it. That's perfect. That tastes just like at the restaurant. Meal number one. And there's the chef's cut right there. We're going to add our bacon over the top. Just like that. Poppy just said, wow. Now for the very last finishing touch, our apple cider butter sauce right over the top. Now make sure you give your guests enough around the sides. The knife goes on the right. Another one for the bloopers. So, here we are. This meal is called chicken Yvette. Yvette must be, I don't know, maybe one of the daughters at Gina Marie's, where I had this meal. And what it is garlic mashed potatoes. You've got garlic spinach on top of that. Then a nice piece of egg battered fried chicken. Some provolone cheese. They used Swiss, but as you know, I've got that big log of provolone that I need to get rid of. Some bacon, and then our applesauce. Let's take it again, take two. So,
Oh, no.
Okay. All right.
Oh.
All right, so let me just do this. So I found this bottle of wine in the back of the refrigerator. Oh dear.
Can we eat now? Okay.
All right. Now, stop.
I can't help it.
Stop.
I can't help it.
All right. So this meal is called chicken Yvette. I have no idea who Yvette is, but we had this meal. Just try it. Just try the damn thing.
Okay.
We have the giggles today, folks. I don't know what this is going to taste like. Do you know what this is?
It's a white.
Thank you so much. He's so helpful. All right. Isn't it nice? The sweetness of the apple with the garlic. It's fantastic. Very hot though, be careful. So chicken Yvette, that's what they call it at Gina Marie's. Do I get to call it something else because I put provolone cheese on there instead of Swiss? So
You could.
can I call it chicken Ronaldo? How's that?
That's Ronaldo.
I don't know. You have to drive back to Queens, so you have to drink Coke Zero.
Yeah.
And I'm going to try this. I have no idea. It's actually very good.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, that's it. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you next time.